What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Story Time with your favorite self-aware narcissist, Lee Hammock, better known as Mental Illness. Today, we have a subscriber that sent in her story of going from being friends for 26 years to dating and being the victim of a possibly narcissistic, toxic person. It is a wild ride. He lied about having cancer, a few other things, y'all. Stay tuned to the end. I'm going to give you my breakdown. It's not a very long story. All right, let's get into it right now. I want to start by saying thank you. There have been a couple of occasions when the topic you have spoken on has been right on the nose for me. Your words have caused me to pause and think at times when I have been in a very dark place. Dark for me and dark for the other person. You've helped me understand so much and realize that I'm not the only one who has experienced the things I have. I'm starting to believe I have worth and value, which is a huge step for me. I could use your opinion. A quick background recap. I knew him for 26 years as a friend before we got into anything. Friendships first, right? He told me he was dying of cancer. At one point, he told me he had 7 weeks to live. Major trauma for me. Anguish, worry, grief, crying, I'm sure you can imagine. Anyway, he wasn't dying of cancer, but he was seriously ill. He has an ulcer brought on by years and years of alcohol dependency. 6 liters of vodka a week is not unusual. That is in 6 liters. He was told in 2023 that if he did not stop drinking, he would be dead in 4 years. I was there when they told him this, so it's not another lie. I want to tell him that if he really needs me, i.e., if he's dying and there's no one else to help him, he can call me. Obviously, I won't go back to him romantically. That ship is sailed. I would need to have medical proof that he's not BSing me, but I just don't want him to die alone. He was my friend before anything. He's been a total C-word to me for no reason other than he could, and it sucks. I know some of the reasons why he has NPD and is the way he is, and they are all horrific. Seriously horrific. I know that does not excuse his behavior, the theft, lies, manipulation, belittling, infidelity, devaluing, coercive control, threats of physical violence, almost breaking my arm, bruising, and brutal discard. I don't want to start talking with him again or to meet up with him. I don't want or need anything from him, actually. However, despite everything, I like to know that if the worst comes to the worst, if he knows he needs to, he can ask for help, and I will do what I can. Nothing financial, of course. The ex is blocked on WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. I have not blocked my phone. He wouldn't contact me by email, and I haven't blocked him on Facebook because I'm not quite there yet. It's hard for me to discard people I consider friends, even when they have shown beyond a doubt that they are not and have behaved like total wankers. Your thoughts. So, my thoughts. Thanks for sending that in. It's small. Y'all see how quick that read was? I bet she read that back. It was like 3 minutes, which is perfect for these story times, y'all. I might can do a little bit longer, but just, you know what I mean? But yeah, going from friends to lovers when you're dealing with a narcissistic person is an extremely tough thing to do. And bear with me, when I say tough thing to do, is that if that narcissist, right, has been interested in you for a long time, if they feel like if they are only your friend because you picked over them, like you dated somebody else or whatever it was, they hold that resentment in. They hold it in. I'm not saying this is what happened in a situation, but this could happen in a lot of other situations, right? Where they are angry as hell because you made them wait. They are pissed off because things have not gone in a way that they enjoy, things have not gone to their liking, right? So they could be harboring a lot of anger and just resentment towards you, which is why you can go from being friends for 26 years to being, you said it, you listed off a lot of things. You said from being belittled, theft, so he stole from you, lied to you, manipulation, belittling, cheated, devalued, coercive control, threats of physical violence, and also some physical violence because almost breaking your arm, bruising, and a brutal discard. Like that right there is pent up anger and aggression. That's pent up. It seems like it's pent up for being in the friend zone for so long. Like I don't know your other romantic situation, but if that narcissistic person has felt like they've been friend zoned and they feel like you've been picking over them when they've been there the whole time, they will hold that anger, resentment towards you, right? Friend or not. And if you think about it right now, so you asked for my thoughts. I'm not trying to be mean, I promise you. So if you think about it right now, the situation that he's in, if he has nobody at the end These are the consequences of his action, which sucks to hear. You know what I mean? It sucks because they always want to make you feel like this type of stuff right here. They always want to make you feel like you might feel guilty for not being there for me at the end. If something were to happen to me, you would feel guilty. That's exactly what he wants right there. And just being realistic, if I dig deep into the mind of a narcissist, a serial lying narcissist, lying about cancer is crazy. I've heard that before, a couple of times before, in my one-on-one sessions, mentalhealness.net. I've heard that happen before in a couple of sessions right there where they lie about having cancer or something like that. And it's horrible. But you find out it's not cancer. They still try to play it off. Well, it's not technically cancer, but it could be cancer. It's kind of like it's cancer adjacent, right? It's cancer adjacent. I'm just as sick and I could die because of the alcohol or whatever. You know, and this is the situation right here. If he does reach out to you, even if he's not dying, he can lie. You know, if that pathway is still open, he can reach out to you and just lie about having cancer, lie about not cancer, but lie about dying. It's like, I just can't stop drinking since you left. Like, I've been drinking more since you left. I can tell you have a lot of empathy within you because you still want to be there for him after all the stuff that he's done to you. They like to weaponize that against you. You know, they like to weaponize that against you. So I'm not sitting here and saying just like he deserves to die alone, but they weaponize your empathy against you. You don't want to go back into this person's life, and they still weaponize that against you. They start treating you badly when you're there for them. When you're trying to be there for them, they make you their emotional punching bag, even to the end. Even at the end of their life, they will try to make you their emotional punching bag. They would like say, what I mean by emotional punching bag, they try to beat on you emotionally and make you feel bad. And just like this and this and that. I'm here alone. Nobody's here for me. I know you say you weren't gonna be, I know you say I could talk to you, but I would really like to see you. That's how it starts right there. So before you talk to him or consider talking to him or whatever, or lending this kind of olive branch to him, think about that right there, because that's where it's going to go. He's not just going to want to be settled for a phone call. This type of person right here, manipulative, belittling, devaluing, he's going to try to see you again. He's going to want to try to see you face to face. He's going to want to try to see you and get you in person. That's how narcissistic people operate. They try to see you face to face, to get you to feel bad for them, to get to take advantage of you one last time, you know. And that's the mindset. That's the dynamic. Again, at the end of the day, he's still a grown person. And I know you feel sorry for him because you mentioned it right here. You said, you know, the reason he has NPD, and they are horrific, seriously horrific. Yeah, this sucks. You know, a lot of narcissists, right, have had horrific childhoods, but it doesn't. Of course, you even said it. That doesn't excuse his behavior and the stuff that he's done to you. He sounds like he's done every single thing he could have done to you. And if somehow, some way, shape, or form, y'all are to be in contact again because you say you left a couple of pathways open, they will make him feel vindicated for everything that he's done. You know, if you are willing to help him out, he will feel vindicated for everything that he's done to you. This is how the mind of a narcissist works. If she's talking to me, she knows it's her fault that all this stuff happened. If she's talking to me, it must not be as bad as she made it out to be. If she's still entertaining me, this must mean that I'm not as bad as she tried to make me out to be. And the things that happened to her, she's taking accountability for. It's not really my fault. These are the circulating thoughts of a toxic, narcissistic, abusive person right there. These thoughts circulate just like that. I must not be as bad as I think I am because she's still willing to deal with me. She's still willing to talk to me. She's still willing to help me, even after how I treated her. That's the mindset. I'm not saying, like I said, that's the mindset and the dynamic right there. I know it's tough to break this bond because, like, you didn't break the bond. He did. Of course, y'all went from being friends to lovers or whatever. That happens all the time, right? It happens quite a bit. But he was the one treating you badly. You didn't ask for that. You know, you didn't ask to be belittled and hit and cheated on and devalued and coercively controlled, threatening you and then almost breaking your arm and then brutally discarding you. That brutal discard was your exit from his life. You know what I mean? That's him setting you free. You know, it's kind of like releasing the trapped circus animal. I'm not calling it a circus animal. This is just the first thing that pops in my head. It's kind of like you have these circus animals that have been trained to perform for a long time, and the way they especially back in the day, they used to teach these animals to perform was by violence. They used to be violent to these animals. It's like freeing this circus animal into the wild, and instead of going like you go free, beautiful panda bear. And instead of going off into the woods, the panda bear goes back into the cage and allows the, kind of welcomes the abuse, the toxicity and the control back into their life. That's what narcissistic people do right there. That's the mindset. That's the dynamic right there. So, you know what I mean? I would just say, keep going, because I feel like if you keep working on yourself, like you said in the beginning, I didn't read this part, but she said she goes to the gym 3-4 times a week. You're worth more than this right here. You're worth more than just being on hold for this person, waiting on them to see if they're going to get better. You are worth more than this. That dark place, it can get darker. It's kind of like you just escaped the storm, right? And like you just escaped the storm. And the sun just came out. You're like, I haven't had the sun hit me in a long time since I got into this relationship. And then he calls you or something and says, I'm sick again. And then you turn it back around. You see the thunder and the lightning and then the tornado and the hail. And you just like, I'm such a good person. Let me go back into this thunderstorm or this torrential downpour or whatever this is to help him out, to be there for him so he won't be alone. I'm not saying he deserves to pass away alone, but these are the consequences of his own actions because this is who he's become right here. You didn't make this choice. He made the choice for himself. I'm not trying to be mean. I promise you I'm not. I'm just like, I just don't like seeing people being taken advantage of, especially when they've lied about having cancer. There's no links to where he would go to be lying. Especially putting you through that trauma. It takes time. Take your time and heal. Take your time and keep working on you. Take your time and keep going towards the sun. Don't turn back around to the darkness. What's that shadowy place over there? That is narcissistic abuse, Simba. You must never go there. Anyways, just thank you for sending that in. I truly appreciate you sending it in. Thank you for trusting me with your story and whatnot. I know you said you're in London. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. If y'all want to send your story in, feel free to send it in to dearmentalhealness@gmail.com. Like I said, if you write it, make sure you read it back between 3 and 5 minutes. This is a perfect link right here. I appreciate her sending it in. Make sure you sub to the Lee Action channel. Super thankful for you. And as always, Mental Healness is out. Peace. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. I am extremely grateful for you. Have no idea. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Helps reach more people. And click on the screen to watch another video or to browse through another playlist. There's also a link on the screen to check out my courses and my support groups to help you heal and understand what you've been through. Thank you so much again. I will see you in the next video. Peace.